아베 정권은 정당에 대한 정치적 단합을 당장 중지하라!
حلق الطيران الإسرائيلي في الأجواء السورية فخطف الحدث أضر على كل
There was Santana and Maria Maria. Coming up soon from the 17th to the 21st of October is the Document 5 International Human Rights Documentary Film Festival. I'm joined in the studio by Mona and Paula. So can you tell us a bit about this festival?
I'm one of the founders. Myself and Mona Rai founded the organisation in 2003, and this year it's Document 5.
We spend a good part of the year travelling to international festivals and having a look at what's going on out there. Usually we commission quite a lot of work.
And often it doesn't get screened on TV, or it's rarely in the cinema. We're here to put that work on, to give it a platform.
This year we've had in excess of 500 submissions. Compared to Document 1, we had about 40 films in that first festival. Quite a lot of the work was sourced. But since Document 3, we've been finding that a lot of the source work didn't make it to the final programme because the submissions have been of excellent quality.
We're screening about 86 films over 4 days, and we're all quite excited because it is our 5th birthday. Certainly there's a lot more support this year. We've got a board and we've got advisors.
I'm very surprised by the reception here, because I think the standard, the kind of default setting of festivals, particularly the ones I'm used to in London and elsewhere, is a slightly smaller audience than the one that was there today.
The quality of the work is really quite superb, and we've been told that from filmmakers that they're now surpassing the major festivals in the UK to submit work to Document.
One of the strengths of Document has always been that we collaborate with other organisations. There's Broth Mix going on, which is free vegetarian food.
Broth Mix itself is this cafe space and a platform for exchanging ideas about food, sustainability, direct action, grassroots community action, things like that.
There's Electron Club, which is free open software.
The Electron Club's an open source hack lab. A hack lab is a kind of voluntary run computer and technology lab, but we also do stuff like home cooking and knitting as well.
There's the Radical Independent Book Fair. So I think Document over the years has kind of spawned a few children that are off doing their own things as well, you know. For me, the future is to consolidate these collaborations so that people become aware, organisations become aware that as a festival, as an organisation, we are here to screen work that deals with the issues that they're dealing with 52 weeks a year.
Stand up!
What I was really interested in was everyone was frightened of it. The idea that you wouldn't go to space because you were frightened of something that somebody said. Violence is everywhere around us. It doesn't just happen in parks. Do you allow your life to be ruled by fear, or do you go and gain empirical knowledge?
Now, you know what's going to be really good now? You're going to watch all the children. I can sit here all day and watch them. I'm not a pervert, but I can watch them. They're enjoying life. And they're all going home with their daffodils and stuff. And it's like, Jesus, man. You know, this is life.
I think maybe that we should celebrate the extraordinary people that make up this country, that you see everywhere around you.
Because it is specifically to do with human rights, it also raises issues that people want to talk about, want to explore, want to share their experiences. Quite often it's people who are campaigning for injustices that have happened to them or to friends of them.
We are here to demand justice for Simon and to demand an end to casualisation that is putting the lives of hundreds of thousands of people at risk every day.
Casualisation was what killed Simon.
47,000 major injuries at work in 2 years and 500 deaths.
These people are not even going to be prosecuted.
Well, one of my best friends has been murdered, and so yet there's been no justice for him, his family or anybody. So until we get justice, we keep fighting.
What you not doing? It was your mate.
It's not acceptable to kill your employees just to keep your profits up.
I think what our film shows is that it's possible for people faced with injustice to do something about it. It's not easy by any means, and there's not a lot of support out there from the people running this country. But if you've got right on your side, and something like this we clearly did, it's possible to do something about it.
Well, I think we cover just about every corner of the globe. Absolutely everywhere. Countries I haven't even heard of. And I know quite a bit about geography.
I think documentary films as a medium of sharing experiences of real people's lives, I don't think you can beat it. You get a chance to actually empathise and kind of share some humanity.
আমার নাম অনিতা লেট, বাড়ি নসিপুর। আমার ছেলে 5 মাস বয়স, গায়ে মাংস নাই, কি দাঁত নাই, দাঁত বের হবে কিনা, গোটা তালুটা গোটাই ফাঁকা, গায়ের গোটা দেহটাই আর হালকা।
You have to see the situation and try to do something for them. So the film I made is a very short film, 9 minutes film that is a kind of asking help.
Certain subjects like inspire you to find some way of raising money, going out to these organisations that are in a strange way fighting a losing battle.
Yes, I have been in Noshipur 2 times. The first time only to approach the people. We did this journalist from Calcutta and say, okay, taking my camera but shooting only something, you know. Then I came back and I stayed there for some days and understanding the problem. And then the people came to me to show his problem.
I'm heading back tonight to the city of Odessa in Ukraine to continue documentary project into the lives of a number of different homeless children that I've been working with. There was a group of 5 kids: Sasha, Vitalik, Roma, Vanya and Dennis, a young kid from Moldova. I didn't come to Ukraine with the intention of documenting the lives of street kids. I came because I had an opportunity to do a bit of exploring and was so taken aback by how many children there are living on the streets. I really felt obligated to raise some level of awareness.
It makes me feel that I'm kind of lucky that I have a mum and I have a family as well, and that I'm not in that position.
What's wrong with asking kids, youngsters, to go out there and not accept the status quo, challenge and do this and come back with that? We have got a generation and a half of people who have never, ever challenged, who have never thought any single original idea. They work to format. And if we're going to have a civilized society, then we have to have a challenging society.
Suicide bombers are the hallmark of the rebel Tamil Tigers, who have been fighting a long-running war for a homeland for the minority Tamil community. Several politicians, including President Akomfrah, have been killed by suicide bombers.
I was living in Sri Lanka for 3 years, and when you live in Sri Lanka, the whole city is virtually closed by roadblocks, barbed wires, and heavy military personnel. And what everybody is fearing is suicide bombers. They're the most lethal bombers in the world, very, very professional. So I started looking into it and find out what kind of individuals really are behind these missions and why.
அதுக்கு பிறகு கரும்புலி அணிக்கு போனாங்க. அந்த கரும்புலி அணி வந்து குறுகிய ஆக்களோட ஆயத்தை கொண்டு ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு இலக்கை அளிக்கிறது. அதுக்கு வந்து இப்போ மற்ற அணிகளில் வந்து கூடுதலான ஆள் தொகை வேணும். எங்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு ஆள் கூட பெரிய ஒரு இலக்கை அளிச்சிட்டு போகலாம்.
If you're going to be a documentary filmmaker, there's really only one reason, and that is to be in the true, correct meaning of the word, are subversive. There is no point in going out there and doing stuff that the establishment want you to do. It's our job to go out there and question the status quo. I want people to actually say, I saw a film on television, I heard, I thought, my friends think, and I want them to be informed. And I think we do have to challenge the status quo. That's our job.
My name's Heather Tate, and I've come up from Brighton to see a document this year because I have some artwork in the Radical Book Fair. It's part of a larger body of work called Resistance is Not Terrorism, and it was inspired by the law that the Blair government introduced, and that law forbids spontaneous protest within 1 kilometre of Parliament. So I wanted to use the police mugshot as a reference point, but turn it on its head and have it as a much more sort of empowering, defiant act, which also expressed the idea of collective action rather than individual behaviour.
There's some films you watch and they're very, very up, even though they're human rights documentaries, because it doesn't really all have to be about doom and gloom.
Our story is in the 3rd page of the Herald. I can't believe it. That's me, all the Scotland people have seen it, so it's good.
Pupils at a school in Glasgow are making a show of solidarity with a family who were turned down for asylum.
I want to say thank you to Mr. Garvin and all my friends. Thank you. I'm going to sit my exams and I'm not going to miss them. And when I leave school, I want to give something back to Scotland in return for all that it has given me.
I think submitting yourself to a collective process of working, and I believe this passionately, ultimately makes you a better human being, and by implication, a better filmmaker. You know, because filmmaking and art production, by its nature, is collective. Freshness isn't just about seeing yourself as some political or cultural or aesthetic vanguardist, but just questioning the premise behind so many assumptions that inform what we're given. Because on the whole, half of it's suspect.
Well, I don't know what his job is, sweeping up leaves. He said it's not his job. Whose job is it, I asked. Not the park keeper, no. It seems as though it's no one's job. It's the council, a vague them, isn't it? Them at the town hall. It's always them, who in the council, who does what?
For me, I find that I can really relate to people. In lots of the films I get inspired by people because of their strength.
Kaže Aleša Šantić, Grki su zalogaj hljeba u tuđini. Moja pjesma Ostajte ovdje. Kaže, Grki su zalogaj hljeba u tuđini. I stvarno jesu. Mislio sam da nisam nostalgičan apsolutno, ali tek sam se ovdje uvjerio koliko sam nostalgičan i osjetljiv na
the search for kindred spirits in an increasingly fragmented, though globalized universe is an important one. You know, no, it can't take the place of blogs and chat rooms and all that, but it sure as hell is no inferior version of those.
I remember buying a very informative book on Alzheimer's, which I read from cover to cover. I hid it in my filing cabinet because I didn't want Malcolm to find out. In about May, I suppose, I came home one day and found Malcolm sitting under one of the apple trees in the garden, just weeping uncontrollably. And I discovered that he had found the book. And he said, "This is what I've got, isn't it?"
How do you cope with being brave? How do you cope with losing the ability to communicate? It is going to be the scourge of the century. Now, we've got to inform. That's my job, to inform. Basically, it's like building rhythms of music. You make sure people hear the right notes and the the sharp notes and the soft notes, and eventually you hope you've got a portrait that people will go away and talk about and argue about, and that's the best thing that television can do.
You know, film your front door, film what's happening on your street, because there will always be stories.
I think just that ability to just say, okay, I need to be able to look at things with more innocence, with less predetermination, helps.
If we lose documentaries, and we're an endangered species anyway, we are going to become just serfs. Poor man at the rich man's gate, and no way of fighting back.
Make films and send them to us and we'll screen them.